Is that an interview that you actually gave with Katie Couric?
Is that an interview that I actually gave with Katie Couric?
Yeah.
What's your name again?
Hey, well, that's not the question.
What's his name?
Pete Ross.
Huh?
Pete Ross.
Pete Ross.
Yeah.
That's a stupid ass question. You just saw me on there giving an interview with her.
Okay.
What's going on, y'all? Attorney Tom here. Sorry, I've been busy the past few days actually doing lawyer stuff. I had a deposition today, and what do you know? I came home and said, we should react to a deposition. So I YouTube searched deposition, and the third or fourth search is a video entitled Lil Wayne gives one of the most hilarious depositions ever, parentheses, a must see. Before we begin, fun fact, depositions are almost exclusively taken in civil cases. Generally, depositions in criminal cases are not allowed. There are certain circumstances where these are allowed, but 99% of the time, depositions are taken in civil cases. So although I have no context of this case, I'm willing to bet it is a civil lawsuit. So let's cut the BS. Let's jump right into it and watch Lil Wayne give a deposition, and I will give my commentary.
Is that an interview that you actually gave with Katie Couric?
Is that an interview that I actually gave with Katie Couric?
Yeah.
What's your name again?
Hey, well, that's not the question.
What's his name?
Pete Ross.
Huh?
Pete Ross.
Pete Ross.
Yeah.
That's a stupid ass question. You just saw me on there giving an interview with her.
Okay. So that was you. Did you?
Okay, Lil Wayne starting off strong. Now, I know that was a pretty stupid question, but to give the lawyer the benefit of the doubt, when you are taking a deposition, you literally have to think about it in the terms of creating a transcript. Ultimately, the jury or judge or whoever is going to see a transcript of the deposition, so you have to lay out the foundations for asking questions. Now, showing a video and then asking, is that you in the video or is that your interview, is kind of redundant, and you could probably get away with not doing that, especially if you have the actual footage. The lawyer was probably just trying to cover all of his bases, but the question did sound pretty dumb, and Lil Wayne answered it hilariously. Man, y'all are mean to lawyers. People are just mean to lawyers. Come on, we're people too. We love. Lawyers love, and they have feelings, and they get their feelings hurt.
You perform at the Virgin Mobile Music Fest in 2000. Isn't it something that you would remember if your album, The Carter 3, was the biggest selling album of the year in 2008?
Isn't it something that I would remember that?
Yes.
Isn't that a personal opinion type question?
So in a deposition, you absolutely can give your personal opinion. Because you say something in a deposition does not mean it's automatically admissible in court. Depositions are broader than what can be allowed in court if and when this case goes to trial. And that's on purpose, because the purpose of a deposition is to find out, to sort out the discovery.
That's why I got that. I mean, because I would be actually answering the question to, isn't it something? That's my question. Isn't it something?
That you would remember.
Isn't it something? That's the question I have to answer, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Isn't it something?
You could do the best trying to answer it.
Yeah, something out of yes. That's my answer.
How would you describe your image in the media?
How would I describe my image in the media?
Yes.
I wouldn't describe it.
Well, how would you describe it if you had to?
I don't have to.
Well, what image are you portraying in the media?
I don't portray anything. I am who I am, and you guys portray what you get.
No, who are you? Who is the real?
I am Dwayne Michael Carter Jr.
Okay. Do you,
Okay, Lil Wayne, I can respect that. And hey, say what you want. That was actually probably a pretty good answer for Lil Wayne. That question probably was purposely phrased like that by the lawyer in order for Lil Wayne to dig his own grave. What did that lawyer want him to say? I imagine he wanted him to say, oh, I promote a, XYZ lifestyle, a party lifestyle, blah, 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 blah. Don't go there, Lil Wayne. You don't need to speculate. You do you. I think that was a good answer for him.
like to portray yourself as?
I just answered that and said that I don't like to portray myself as nobody.
Okay.
I completely be Dwayne Michael Carter Jr. I don't portray myself as anything. An image is self-described.
Well, you have to wait till I'm done with the question.
I don't have to wait to anything, honestly. I mean, this guy right here may tell me that I have to wait, but personally, I don't have to do nothing.
Go ahead, ask.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. First, yes, the lawyer already did ask Lil Wayne this question. It was asked and answered, but this is actually very common in depositions. You are going to ask the same question in different ways, slightly over and over and over again. It's just part of the deal. It's part of the lawyer's job. You kind of have to do it, especially when you have a very squirmy witness. Second, Lil Wayne is getting a little testy. He's clearly frustrated. He doesn't want to be there. I don't blame him. Nobody wants to be deposed. But if you want to play that game where you think you're better than everybody, or I'm not going to play by the rules, and the rule being you have to let lawyer ask the question, you run the risk of a couple things. First, you run the risk of getting sanctioned. That lawyer might call the judge saying, "Judge, this is an uncooperative witness. We need to do this again. I need to come back and depose him again when he's willing to cooperate." There might be fines assessed to that. There might even be more extreme remedies like contempt. And second, and more importantly, if this deposition clip or clips are played at the actual trial, you look like a total jerk in front of the jury.
That's the question.
Thank you, Your Honor. Do you like
He
to?
can't save you, right? In the real world. That guy right there. He can't save you in the real world. Just so you know.
What does that mean?
I don't have to elaborate.
Is that
Ask your next question,
is
please,
that
Mr. Ross.
a threat against
No,
them?
it's not.
Mr.
No,
Ross,
sir,
can
it's
you
not.
just ask your next question, please?
He can't save you.
And what does that mean?
I was talking to myself.
Look, that's one of those things, Lil Wayne. I know you're frustrated. I know you probably don't want to be there. That's not a good look, because what if they play that in front of the jury? What if they play that in front of the judge? And y'all remember, and I see this all the time, I even saw this today. There are a lot of people who like to get off on technicalities or think they're getting off on technicalities because they think, oh, this is the law, lawyers, technical, BS, blah, blah, blah. People can read between the lines and read circumstantial evidence, read the circumstance, read the situation. What is somebody going to infer when you roll that clip back? You know, just a lot of it is common sense.
Do you recall that any criminal actions were pending against you at the end of 2008?
I don't recall any.
Do you recall being at all concerned about any criminal actions that may have been pending against you at the end of 2008?
I don't recall.
Do you recall that in the summer of 2007 you were arrested in New York City following a performance at the Beacon Theater?
I don't recall that.
Do you recall that police in New York City discovered a .40 caliber pistol on you, on your person?
I don't recall that neither.
Do you recall that in late 2009 you pleaded guilty to attempted criminal possession of a weapon?
I don't recall that neither.
Did you serve any time in jail following the end of 2009?
I don't know.
Didn't you serve about 8 months at Rikers Island in 2010?
I don't know.
So again, even though Lil Wayne is not affirmatively answering this question, yes, I remember, or no, I remember, he is clearly saying, I don't know, to everything. I think somebody would remember spending 8 months in jail. So what would just happen from this is the lawyer would play this clip of the deposition in front of the jury or the judge, and they could infer by the circumstances, his posture, his body language, how he's answering it, what they think the correct answer to this is as it relates to the fact at hand or the question of the case. So saying I don't know to every single question is not a get out of jail free card.
Misconduct involving weapons and possession of drug paraphernalia?
No, I don't recall that.
Well, how much longer is this line of questioning going to go on?
Not much longer.
All right, go ahead.
I don't know.
Didn't you win
I don't know.
the award for Best Rap Album of the Year in
I don't know.
2008 for the Kherkher 3?
I don't know.
Mr. Kherkher, you have to wait until the attorney is finished asking the question, please.
I'm sorry, that's my psychic.
Lil Wayne is psychic, apparently. That was actually pretty funny. What I imagine happened at the conclusion of this deposition, if Lil Wayne was a main party to the suit, perhaps he was just a side person. Perhaps he was just somebody they were trying to get some facts from. If he was a party to the suit, what I imagine the lawyer who was asking him questions did is called the judge, said, hey, judge, listen, he was really unresponsive. He didn't answer any of my questions. I'm going to need to depose him again because it's my right to get discovery. And because he acted the way he did, I couldn't get any useful information. So the judge might even examine the deposition or the transcript of the deposition and reorder a new deposition and have Lil Wayne pay for it. So then everybody's there back again, spending more time and more money taking another deposition. But to be fair to Lil Wayne, I've been in depositions that last 6 hours. So maybe he was there for all 6 hours and those were only the fragmented clips where he was acting like that. And maybe he did end up giving some useful information where they didn't have to depose him again. All right, y'all, that's it for today's video. As always, please hit that like button. It does me a big favor. And leave any questions, comments, concerns down below in the bottom. I'll be sure to address them. Or consider subscribing to my subreddit, r/attorneytom. All right, y'all. Talk to you later.